Sagittarius, hi, I'm Trace and you're watching my channel called Earth Star. I'm bringing through for you some oracle message and some guidance for the next 2 weeks of June. So let's see what comes through for you. Please join me and let's just see some messages for you. Let's see what you need to expand. Let's see what you need to focus on. Let's see what's coming through. Spiritual message for you. Even though I channel my messages, I do invite my angel spirits and guides to come through and lead your reading. And you've got stability, anchor. Oh, that is awesome. Oopsie. And you know, as a fire sign, Sagittarius, you know, the energy that you have is quite confident and enthusiastic, with faith, good fortune, and you have that authority that you believe in things, and you just have this beautiful power inside of you. And it's nice to know. I love this red door here. It's giving you that beautiful, you're okay. It's honest interpretation of what can happen for you. And the stability is what you need to hear, because you are quite a free person. Even though you like to travel and to do what you need to do in life, you do need to also have that stability, because you are a fire sign. It's mostly about your passion. You need to have that pullback to, okay, everything's going to be okay kind of energy. So you've got the stability card here for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be using your tarot cards just to see what comes through. What do you need to focus on, Sagittarius? What are you moving into, and what is the message from Spirit? Let's have a look to see what's coming through for you. What do you need to focus on? What are you moving into, and what is the message from Spirit? Focus, moving into, and message from Spirit. Okay, so what you need to focus on right now is your head, how you are thinking. You know, you are that energy, enthusiastic, passionate sign, honest and independent sign. But you know what happens? Your healing power expands when you restore your faith, when you know that all things are possible, when you have courage to move forward a little bit, when you felt a little bit small. And this Five of Swords here is an adventure card to say to you, you know what, you don't have to be on a trajectory of always having to win, always having to get things right, always having to discover, always having to be the one that's right. You know, that those arguments that you're in, maybe with your spouse or with your family, perhaps you could have that little bit of a Sagittarius arrow going, no, I'm not going to stop this fight because I am right. What Spirit is saying to you here is, you'll win in other ways. This is a winning card, but in other ways, other than your sharp little tongue, other than being forceful about it. So focus on that. Focus how you are talking to people, how you're pushing yourself forward. I think with you ruled by Jupiter, you know, you've got a lot of luck and confidence in your life, but you also don't want to be in the space of pushing and trying to control things. And this Five of Swords is very much that kind of energy. So focus, say to yourself, where am I being a little bit too forceful, perhaps, around my opinions, around people? Is there some kind of a way that I can back myself off in my aggression? You know, you need to just sort of check yourself. I think this card is just saying to you, check yourself. You need to be a little bit more accepting of things that perhaps can't change. Maybe the stability is in accepting the things that are not changeable, that you need to work around that. There's more to life to live. And you know, when you discover about how you can accept what you have in your life, that can bring a lot of stability for you as well. Because you don't want to have tension and conflict in your relationships either. I just feel that this card is a lot of, especially with this, your Two of Swords coming in here as well. It can bring in all sorts of, like when you go to bed at night and you lie there and you think, oh, should I have said that? You know, it was a bit of an on the whim kind of thing. Perhaps I shouldn't have had that sort of like expansive outburst. And then what Spirit is saying here, what you're moving into, with that kind of regroup with yourself, you can make decisions for yourself where you don't necessarily have to be so caught up in that moment thing that happened in your life. Just for that one moment. These are temporary cards. There's no major arcanas here. So this is something temporary that's happening in the next 2 weeks for you. And I think what it's saying to you is that when you actually see how you do have choices, and you don't have to be stuck in this control, and I have to have it this way and I have to have it that way. When you look at this here, this is also looking, if I bring it back to shopping online, maybe leave the cart overnight before you actually press buy. Sit with something for a while before you actually make a decision, because this is a very impulsive energy. So focus on your impulses. If you perhaps in a group that is a little bit too busy on WhatsApp, and they're talking, all you want to do is say, stop it, I'm so tired of your chatting. It's pausing before you actually say something, muting it for a while. Yeah, I think this is definitely also, if you're writing an email or you're putting yourself in a position where you have to speak to somebody, perhaps just step back before you do that. And I think that's what Spirit is saying to you here, what you're stepping into. With the stability, you've got two stability cards here. The message from Spirit is also about stability. The Four of Pentacles can also be about holding on too much to what you have and not sharing it. But I think in this aspect, it's going to be a positive influence over it. Spirit is giving you that you are stable. Don't let people feel, sort of gaslight you, if that's the sense I want to bring in. Because this feels like there's somebody around you that is throwing you off. And this next 2 weeks, you might be a little bit sensitive to your stability around that. So I feel when you sort of awaken and discourage yourself from trying to control the situation, the decision you'll make will be away in your mind. It'll be almost like a relief when the next day you wake up and you go, I'm so glad I didn't engage. I'm so glad I didn't do it. That's what I get from this. We've got a new moon coming up this next week. So this message here for you is the next 2 weeks. And remember, the new moon is a new moon in Gemini. It's all about your mind again. It's all about your conscious decision of how you process your mind factors. So let's see what's coming through from your Moonology cards. And you have, what do you need to release? That is so interesting. Oh my gosh, your cards went flying here. Let's just put them over there. What do you need to release? So this feels like there's an underlying energy for you. There's something underlying that is causing you to feel like you want to lash out at somebody. So perhaps I think the advice that came through that Spirit has given you is that when you pause on ordering online, pausing a subscription, pausing on writing that email, muting a chat group for a while, when you make that decision, I think it's going to help you to release something a little bit different, and you will feel the security. You will feel, my gosh, if I wish that I had known this sooner. I feel that is what your message is trying to say to you, Sagittarius. So it's not a very big, like, life-changing thing, but it can be, because at the end of the day, this could lead to some horrible balls rolling for you. You don't want that, Sagittarius. You don't want to have regret. You don't want to be sharp of tongue and then you go, why did I say that? So I think the most important card here is this little blindfolded lady she can't see the target. She can't see what's going to happen in the next step of her life, but she is taking the time to listen to her other senses. She's not, she's aiming slowly. She's not willy-nilly just shooting the arrow out and then regretting it later. So I think this is the most important card for you. And I think, this too can represent relationships. It's sort of the balance and the harmony of that. It's also a card to remind you, to ask you to use your intuition. So when you slow your whole life down, when you're not using your ego, your control, or something in this tangible life that we live in, I think you can also understand that we are definitely all helping each other, and you'll see a better future emerging, and whatever you need to release there will definitely show its ugly head. And when you choose that, you'll avoid things that are unclear for you, and then you'll get this lovely Four of Pentacles energy here, which is embracing what you have, being completely stable in that. Right, Sagittarius, nice little message for you there. I'll chat to you next month. Take care.